zone looks like where that storm is heading, so that would also take it. I would say also, David, Unicoi County under the gun with this as well, because it's the southern half of that storm that looks to have the most rotation with it. So folks in Unicoi County need to take shelter as well.
Yeah, and that's what we've been worried about. The supercells developing, and it almost looks like a bowling ball. I mean, the one that moved over Bristol and the ones moving through Greene County right now, whenever they become an individual cell, they can produce just incredibly severe weather. And a lot of times on the southern edge of the southern flank of that storm is a lot of times where the rotation will begin to develop. And so let's get watching. Really, one cell is now moved out of Smith County, now into eastern portions of Tazewell County. The other supercell on the east side of Bristol.
They will get some Abingdon reports of tennis ball size hail out of Bluff City.
Yeah, and that's with the storm right here.
Yeah, it just came. I mean, the severe part of that storm has moved northeast of Bluff City, but we do have reports of tennis ball size hail in Bluff City. See if we can, numerous trees down, and this is a viewer email report, numerous trees down, roofs damaged, windows blown out in the Winterham, all right, am I saying this right? Winterham in Abingdon? I'm going to leave it at that because I'm not exactly sure, but apparently it looks like near Abingdon, it says Winterham. Not exactly sure where that is, what part of Abingdon, but it looks like there's been some damage to trees. We've also had a report of a possible tornado near exit 13 from the earlier tornado warning near Abingdon. Baseball size hail. Now this is coming from Jennifer Lacey, Weaver School Community in Bristol, Tennessee. So this is obviously that same storm that came here with the walnut-sized hail downtown Bristol not too long ago. So we now have up to baseball-sized hail being reported out of that storm cell as it came through the Bristol area. Okay, Winterham is correct. So we're apparently getting some wind damage and perhaps some structural and windows blown out. Not sure if it was hail, wind, but I'm assuming it would have been mainly wind in the Winterham area of Abingdon, Virginia. Go ahead and talk, Dave. I'm going to see if we can get some more.
Okay, and we'll take a look now at the live scan, looking at the two main cells that are in the viewing area that have the highest threat of tornadoes. And of course, the hail, we were showing you there on the hail zone just a second ago. But now Abingdon getting hit, pounded very hard right now. Let's take a look at the velocity scope and continue to see some rotation and possible tornado near South Holston Lake. And then as we go down further to the south, seeing that the storm now in Limestone, and it's continue to see very strong rotation here. We zoom in just a little bit more, pop on a few more communities near Camp Creek, Horse Creek, and as we go in a little bit closer around Greystone, seeing a pretty good chance of a tornado right there. We'll go back to the hail zone and show you that we continue to see giant hail here near Observation Knob, at least 1.5 inches. So around ping pong, maybe golf ball sized hail that's going to be moving mainly on the south side of Abingdon, but it could still move into Abingdon as well, around Damascus, and continue to move off to the northeast.
Golf ball sized hail, Bluntville.
Bluntville,
yeah.
Okay. And then here's the other hail zone around Camp Creek, and then moving to near Irwin and heading for Unicoi. So this is, again, showing where the hail is now and where it's going to be over the next 30 minutes. Okay, now if we go back to the velocity scope and level 2 radar, this is the most up-to-date radar available. We are seeing a lot of rain along the Kentucky-Virginia border, and then there's, let's go back to the warnings map here. Still have the tornado warning in effect for Hancock and Hawkins County as well. So let's take a look at that system right now. Zooming in, and this is probably going to be more of a spin-up tornado. But I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a spin-up tornado, brief tornado, or if it's going to be a long track tornado. or not, but still a potential for heavy rain everywhere, and then very large hail, and then the gusty wind as well. Let's take a look at the lightning tracker as well and see just how prolific the lightning has been. And you see this individual cells that are continuing to race off to the northeast. And let's see if we're getting anywhere close to the end of this. Now on the regional radar, it looks like the back edge finally is approaching Knoxville down to near Chattanooga. This is with the actual cold front, and once this pushes through, then the threat is going to greatly diminish, and that's why the tornado watch is in effect till 1 o'clock. I've been telling you this has been a particularly dangerous situation. This is a very rare event that we have this high of a threat here in the Tri-Cities region, but
we don't see this. I mean, this is a very rare situation where we get this amount of tornado warnings. Could you find more, just see if we get more information from Melissa about what she meant by that there on the email. So yeah, I mean, a situation like this is very rare, and continuing at this hour, we still have numerous tornado warnings that are in effect through various times. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have right now. This is the tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Greene County and Unicoi County and Washington County, Tennessee until 11:30. 52% probability of severe weather of a tornado with this particular cell, and it is moving off to the northeast at 70 miles per hour and would be heading toward the Limestone area of right here along the Greene and Washington County line, and continuing to push off to the northeast will affect areas of Washington County, of course, taking a direct line toward the Johnson City area as well. So on our storm track here, Limestone, Bowmantown, Telford, Jonesboro, Midway, Unicoi, all under the gun for this particular storm. Of course, this would also take us up into the Johnson City area around 11:22. So folks in Johnson City should be taking cover right now as well, as these storms continue to push off to the northeast at about 70 miles per hour. This storm right here, near and to the south of Abingdon, Virginia, this is the one that has produced the baseball-sized hail, up to baseball-sized hail in Bristol. Also had golf ball-sized hail near Bluntville. We can show you still some of the stronger hail cores that are continuing in these areas. Right through here, that tornadic signature continues in eastern and southeastern parts of Greene County, and from around Camp Creek, Horse Creek, up toward Limestone, Telford, Jonesboro, Unicoi, all could see at least, it looks like quarter-size hail, maybe a little bit larger than that, as this storm continues to push off to the northeast. This particular storm cell, now moving through Washington County, Virginia, has the potential of up to maybe a little bit greater than quarter-size hail, stretching from just north of Observation Knob here near South Holston Lake, and is crossing South Holston Lake right now, and will continue to have the potential of not only some large hail, but also the possibility of a tornado as this storm continues to move through Washington County, Virginia. Are we getting some new information?
Yeah, an update from the Weather Service now on the Greene County and Washington County tornado.
Okay. National Weather Service Doppler radar indicating a tornado. This came out at 11:05 right now, so this is just a brand new information on that cell moving through Greene County into Washington County, Unicoi County. Doppler radar indicating a tornado near Liberty, or about 10 miles west of Irwin, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. So let's go ahead. Can we find Liberty on there? It's west of Irwin by 10 miles. So somewhere in this general area here between, let's say, Conkin. Okay, we saw it pop on there for just a minute ago. But anyway, it's in this general area right here where that possible tornado is here from, I can't read that with that, from Broyles Hill down toward Conklin, Bumpus Cove, Adams Mill, Horse Creek, Chucky, Limestone, Telford, Bald Crossing, Big Cherry, Mayday, Dry Creek, Embryville, Bumpus Cove. So this is now, it looks like the tornadic part of the storm now pushing into the southern part of Washington County, Tennessee, to the west of Irwin, and moving northeast at about 65, 70 miles per hour. Of course, this is going to take it very much into the Johnson City area here within the next 20 minutes, if not, let's say, sooner than that. As we can see here, Telford, about now, Midway, Johnson City about 11:20, Piney Crest about 11:21, 11:23 Central, 11:23 also Unicoi. Other part of that storm still could be dangerous, so even though we have that swath mainly tracking the southern part of that storm near 11E, if we take the whole core of it, it also it would extend northward to include the other parts of the area as well, including Rock Springs in Sullivan County, Jonesboro 11:14, Colonial Heights 11:15, Midway 11:16, Oak Grove at 11:17. Okay, we getting a new tornado warning here?
Yeah, update on the one now that's just to the west of Damascus.
Okay, so a new tornado, this is an update on the existing tornado warning that continues in effect for Carter, parts of Carter's, Washington, Johnson, Sullivan counties of Tennessee and Virginia, Washington County, Virginia, northern Johnson County of northeast Tennessee. At 11:05, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicating a possible tornado. This tornado was located west of Damascus, which would be right on top of Damascus right now, obviously. Tornado is also about 6 miles southeast of Abingdon, moving to the northeast at 65 miles per hour, and will be affecting, mainly it says rural areas, but I would say that it would be affecting places like Damascus, Virginia, Conner Rock, and perhaps toward the White Top area, maybe Laurel, Bloomery, because northern Johnson County is also in this tornado warning. Let's see, we've just got some new information here.
So here's a quick recap of the tornado warning. Southern Tazewell, most of northern Smith until 11:15. Washington County, Virginia until 11:45. Sullivan 11:45. Johnson until 12:15. Carter up until 12:15. Unicoi 11:30. Washington County, Tennessee 11:30. Greene County 11:30, and Hawkins and Hancock County until 11:45.
Okay, thanks, David. Meteorologist Donnie Cox been checking into some information about the Bristol Motor Speedway.
We were checking into it. We received a report a couple of minutes ago that the that a trained weather spotter has reported there was a possible touchdown near the Speedway. We have a crew that is en route down there right now to check that out. We should have more information in just a little bit about that, but it will be part of that same storm where you saw a couple of minutes ago, Dave, where we saw the signature near the Speedway.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, it would be this cell here that had the tornado, brought the large hail to Bristol. When it was over Bristol, that's when we may have that possible tornado touchdown near BMS, Bristol Motor Speedway. And that cell is now moving through much of Washington County, getting set to move into Smith County. Okay, so this new one here does not affect us, the viewing area, but this one here does, and this is the one that has that possible tornado damage at Bristol Motor Speedway, moving off to the northeast at about 65 miles per hour. Again, the tornado just about 6 minutes ago, the rotation was near Damascus, here in the southeastern part of Washington County, Virginia, and that is moving off to the northeast at about 65 miles per hour. I believe we are we going to throw it? We are going to go a quick recap of the tornadoes, and we'll throw it to Garrick and Ann at the news desk. I wanted to show you, these are the tornado warnings, all right? Let's go to the particular cells now that have the tornadoes with them potentially. Heading into the Johnson City area, Irwin, Unicoi, Jonesboro. Take cover now in those areas, also along Interstate 81 and areas from here point southward, moving into Smith County, possible tornado with that cell as well. Garrick, Ann, what do you have for us?
Okay, thank you, Dave. We are certainly watching this situation along with you this evening.
Absolutely, and volunteers in Greene County, Tennessee have also been working overtime just to get ready for this storm tonight.
That's right. They've set up a shelter for folks in the county. It's at the Abingdon First Baptist Church. Organizers started setting up after learning about the potential threat of dangerous storms. They wanted to make sure people had a safe place to go.
Of course, the news today has not been very good for Tennessee, so we thought it was important to have something in the northern Greene County area.
The volunteers plan to keep the shelter open all night at Abingdon First Baptist Church. Residents who need to be taken to a shelter should call emergency management in Greenville. That's at 423-798-1729. You see that number there on your screen. That's if you need a ride to that shelter. If severe weather hits your neighborhood, it's important to know what to do.
Absolutely. Emergency workers are say that having a plan before a storm hits, that's the best way to prepare. And News 5's Melissa Gaona is in the newsroom tonight with more on what to do if you're stuck in a storm. Melissa?
Annie and Garrick, since we are experiencing some severe weather throughout our region tonight, I wanted to find some quick and easy ways to protect yourself, no matter where you happen to be when it strikes.
It also has a tornado warning with it.
When a tornado watch or warning is issued, do both you and your family know what the difference is? Emergency management workers say most people don't, so here's an easy way to help you remember. A watch means a tornado is possible and you should be on the lookout. A warning means a tornado has been sighted or indicated by radar and you should take cover now.
Get to the most center portion. If your tub happens to be there, get there. If that's your bedroom under the bed, get there. But the centermost portion.
Harris says to stay away from windows and outside walls, and no matter where you are, get as low to the ground as possible.
If you're on the top floor of an apartment,
I would make friends with somebody who's on the bottom floor or within the basement also.
And if you're in a mobile home,
mobile homes sometimes are more susceptible to wind damage than what a regular home would be. Be with a friend's house.
Emergency workers say a ditch in the ground should be your last resort, but it is safe as long as there's no water. But if you find yourself in a car, a common misunderstanding with many drivers is that during a tornado or straight line winds, you should park your car underneath a bridge like the one you see behind me. But emergency workers tell me that that's actually one of the most dangerous places you could be. Many times emergency shelters or the Red Cross will designate a place for the community to go. Now, if you'd like a list of emergency shelters in your area, you can visit the nearest Red Cross or emergency management office for that information. Garrick and Ann?
All right, thank you, Melissa Gaona, in our newsroom tonight.
Here are a few more facts we found out about your safety during a storm. Only use a phone if someone needs immediate help. And the officials are also suggesting that you turn off the water, the electric, as well as the gas mains. We also want to remind you that if your power is out, the emergency dispatchers are asking you not to call 911 because they're trying to keep those lines open for emergencies. So if your power's out, they're asking that you not call 911. You should really contact your power company.
And another few good points are to get to the lowest floor in your house, the basement, the crawl space. If you don't have a basement, then get to an interior room with no windows. Also important to point out, try to position yourself under a place in the lower levels that's away from heavy furniture above you. You don't want to be right underneath a waterbed, a refrigerator, or something like that.
And of course, if you live in a mobile home, that's of course a concern. They're suggesting that you would evacuate mobile homes immediately. And if you're outside during one of these storms, they suggest that you find some sort of safe shelter as a last resort. The emergency officials in these situations are suggesting that you go to a ditch. That would be a last resort. Now the concern there is that if there's water there's a danger of drowning. So that would be a last resort to go find shelter in a ditch.
And probably above all of this, make sure if you have a radio or a television that's still operating, or maybe a radio with batteries, keep it on for the latest weather information, and don't leave your place of safety until you hear that it's absolutely safe.
But finding safety is certainly the key concern, and again, you want to get to the lowest floor in your house in these kind of situations, or you want to get to the most center portion of your homes. In a lot of cases, that's a bathroom. They're suggesting that you would get to a bathtub. So, but you want to stay away from the windows when the wind is really getting this high. Of course, our weather team has been following this throughout the evening, and Chief Meteorologist Dave Dierks is now going to be joining us once again with more on what he has.
Yeah, we want to continue to bring the folks up in Johnson City up to date on this tornado warning that continues in effect for Washington County, Tennessee, as well as parts of Unicoi County and eastern parts of Greene County. But that storm's largely pushed out of Greene County now into Washington County, Tennessee. You can see stretching really from Gray right along Interstate 26 through Johnson City, and then extending into Unicoi County to near Irwin. We're going to check out, you can see Boones Creek there, there's Jonesboro, Johnson City, Telford, Unicoi. The area there within our velocity scope where the green and the red are coming together, that is where our rotation is within the storm. And we can zoom in a little bit closer here and show you some of the streets that would be affected here around the Bald Crossing, Big Cherry, Cherokee, Pinecrest, Jonesboro, Telford areas. We got Old Embryville Road, Triple H Lane, B.L. Moore Lane, just to name a few of the streets that are within this. There's K.E. Drive. Looks like that would be in line. You can see, of course, the main thoroughfares, 11E, would be running through this as well. You can see there from Johnson City to Jonesboro and then extending down along Interstate 26. There is the part of the... Okay, so we just got a new scan. So this storm, with the possible tornado right now bearing down on Johnson City, folks in Johnson City, Cherokee, Okolona, Pinecrest, Johnson City area, Central, Barnes, Seton subdivision, all need to be taking cover now. Of course, this is the greater Johnson City area, needs to be taking shelter, getting into the lowest level of your residence, preferably in a basement if you have one. If you don't, interior room. Try to put as many walls between you and the outside of your home. A hallway, a closet, a bathroom away from windows. And if possible, you want to maybe get under a sturdy piece of furniture, a workbench, pool table, anything like that that would offer some protection should your home, your place of residence be affected by this tornado and cause some structural damage. The safest place to be would be on an interior, lowest level of your home or of your apartment, and evacuate mobile homes for a sturdier structure as this storm continues to move through the Johnson City area. It looks like as far as some of the greater or the larger hail areas, at least it looks like maybe not as large a hail as we have seen with some of these storms recently, but still, there's still strong circulation, still strong rotation with these storms, now crossing the area from near Irwin to Unicoi along Interstate 26 up toward the Johnson City area, Elizabethton, continuing to move through Unicoi, Washington County, and also into Carter County now. Folks in Hampton, Elizabethton, eventually Roan Mountain, under the gun here for the possibility of a tornado as well, as the storm continues to push off to the northeast. Let's take a look at a couple of let's take a look here at the tornado warning continues for Hawkins County until 11:45 and Hancock County. Let's see what those storms are doing right now. Incidentally, we do have reports of power outages and many trees down in the Kingsport area from the earlier storm. Possible tornado also from a viewer near Saltville in Smith County. Here is the storms now as they push into Hawkins and Hancock County. This storm now has a 13% probability of severe weather and a 7% probability of tornado. So the tornado signature on that particular track, not as great. This one down here to the west of Rogersville, north of Moorestown, has a 27% probability of severe weather. That would be damaging winds, large hail, a 19% probability of a tornado. So that's moving, going to be moving right along 11W, heading up toward the Rogersville area. Again, that tornado warning for Hawkins and Hancock County continues until 11:45. From Sneedville and Hancock County down toward Morristown and Hawkins County, all under a tornado warning right now as these storms continue to race eastward. It's kind of a linear storm, but there could be some spin-up tornadoes right along that as well. see we got a new tornado warning.
Let's see. Okay, so we have continuing tornado warnings for Washington County, Virginia until 11:45, Eastern Sullivan County 11:45, Johnson, Carter County till 12:15. A storm moving through Johnson City right now, Washington County, Tennessee. Tornado warning until 11:30, and Unicoi County 11:30 as well. And as you're talking about, Dave, Hancock and Hawkins till 11:45.
Right. So the as far as let's go to the kind of a larger view, a more broader view of all of the storms now that are affecting the viewing area at this point in time. And it looks like Smith County folks there need to be when does that Smith County warning come to an end?
The Smith County warnings till midnight now.
Till midnight. All right. So this is the tornado warning. Let's go ahead and look at that storm. This is the one that potentially brought that tornado near. We haven't confirmed it. Maybe some wind damage around Bristol Motor Speedway. The large hail. We've had wind damage in a number of areas of Washington County, Virginia, and still some really powerful rotation, it looks like, doesn't it, David, there?
Yeah, definitely some strong rotation, especially on the south side, anywhere from the Adwolf area, around Dry Fork, Holston Mill, Loves Mill, and this is continuing to move through Marion as well. At least the heart of the cell.
Where does the velocity scope show? So really anywhere along that there could be a possible tornado there from the Marion area point southward, it looks like. North of Marion as well, but from that area southward through Smith County, including Adwolf, now pushing east of Chilhowie, but heading toward Sugar Grove, moving into and through the Marion, Virginia area right now as well. Eventually, that's right along Interstate 81. That would also be affecting Adkins, Virginia, and eventually, as it continues its way across the county toward rural retreat. It looks like Saltville is in the clear from a potential tornado. Chilhowie's getting to be on the west side of this storm, but Marion, certainly, you folks need to be taking shelter right now. Possible tornado. It looks like the core of this heavy storm is right on top of Marion right now, and you can see the area there where we might have some wind shear and the possibility of a tornado within, anywhere really within that that area from near and North Marion southward through the south end of Smith County. Storm track on this storm, rotating storm. At this point, it says no rotation.
Yeah, at least on the northern part.
Yeah, the northern part. Probability of hail. And max hail size is about quarter size, or a little bit more than an inch in diameter. But if we take that velocity scope again and show folks the southern part of that storm is still showing some pretty good shear, and that is most likely, I would say, if we have a tornado, that it's in that area from Marion Point southward.
Yeah, around Adwolf, maybe just the north of Conner Rock as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So folks in Sugar Grove also need to be taking shelter from this particular storm. And here's the Johnson City storm again, looking at really a large part of the storm may have some hail, heavy damaging winds, but it looks like the part of the storm that might have the tornado with it now is moving across Interstate 26 now, Pinecrest community. Here is Marion Drive. It looks like right kind of in the heart of it. Old Milligan Highway also would be in here. Cedar Grove Road would be in line for this. Laurels Road would be in line for this possible tornado as well. I mean, the greater Johnson City area all under a tornado warning right now. We're kind of hitting some streets here that look to be in the midst of the stronger rotation now that is moving through Johnson City.
And moving into Elizabethton right now.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, I mean, we talk about the area there where the rotation is, but this is moving to the northeast at about 65, 70 miles an hour. So we're talking Biltmore, Elizabethton, Charity Hill, down toward Valley Forge, Hampton, Gap Road, Watauga, all of these areas back toward Hunter, Blue Spring eventually. All under the possibility, as this storm continues to race off to the northeast, of a possible tornado. But there appears to be where the strongest likelihood of the rotation. What about the lower end there toward Unicoi and Irwin? What's that?
Yeah, looks like there's another possible rotation there around Unicoi as well.
Okay, we're getting a new warning here. Okay, this is a new tornado warning, and let's pop on the graphic. This tornado warning in effect until 12:30 for Cocke County in East Tennessee, right on the Greene County border, Jefferson County, Greene County, Sevier County. So we're talking here down by the Smokies. That particular thunderstorm cell is the one that would be moving toward Greene County and Cocke County. So this storm is not in Greene County yet, but let's go ahead and focus in on where it is. It says National Weather Service Doppler radar indicating a severe thunderstorm possibly producing a tornado near Sevierville, moving to the east at 70 miles per hour. It says this tornadic storm will be near Dandridge around 11:35, White Pine around 11:40, Newport around 11:45, Parrottsville around 11:50, Greenville and Tusculum around 12:05. Again, Parrottsville around 11:50, Greenville and Tusculum about 12:05. Other locations affected by this thunderstorm would include Chestnut Hill, Caney Branch, Mossheim, and also Chuckey. That tornado warning in effect until 12:30 a.m. So let's back up again a little bit and show the movement. Let's loop that one here that's over.
There we go.
That's over Sevierville, so we kind of see how it's kind of sometimes easier for folks to understand how it may be affecting them, as we can just see how it's moving. So this is part of that line of severe thunderstorms that is racing from Sneedville and Rogersville. Keep in mind, we do have tornado warnings for that area of Hancock and Hawkins County all the way down through Morristown, that line of storms, and then extends to the west of Newport. So the severe part of that storm is going to be the northern part of right there, Sevierville. So that is where the tornado rotation was when this warning was issued at 11:27. Moving to the east at about 70 miles per hour and would be moving into Cocke County and also Greene County and Jefferson County between now and 12:30. So folks, looks like Greenville, Tusculum, Parrottsville, Newport, all these areas need to be taking shelter right now, getting into the basement, the lowest level of your home, interior section, hallway, bathroom, closet. Perhaps if you can find some sturdy structure to get under, that would be also optimum as well. But we have a whole bunch of tornado warnings that continue in effect, including Hancock and Hawkins County until 11:45. The new one for Greene and Cocke counties and Jefferson County until 12:30. The one storm that's moving through Johnson City into Elizabethton toward Carter County in effect until 11:45, and then further northward, Smith County also under a tornado warning until midnight. So meteorologist Donnie Cox, you have some updated information.
I have some updated information. One quick question for some of our viewers who are watching the storm that was near Abingdon and Benham's Road. We understand they have lost power in that area, and they are wanting to double check on what we have in that area at the moment as far as exactly where the center of that is, so that there are plenty of people out there that's trying to relay information to these people. So David, if we had a chance maybe to look at that near Benham's Road north of Abingdon, just to kind of get an idea for those folks. It looks like that has moved east of you, so yeah, it's really not a serious situation there anymore. That's the area David was showing a second ago up near Marion that has moved on past the Abingdon area. One quick thing, Dave, we were talking a minute ago about the Bristol Motor Speedway. I've gotten several calls. Bristol Motor Speedway, some folks that live in that area have reported baseball-sized hail. They have seen a funnel cloud in the area. There was one lady that called in to say that there is a huge oak tree that is just mammoth in size that wasn't blown over or uprooted. It was plucked completely out of the ground and moved. Several other people reporting the change in pressure, as well as they could hear as it came over. So we, as I mentioned, have a crew that is down in the area of the Bristol Motor Speedway checking that out. Also, plenty of places reporting hail. Another area that we talked about a minute ago, Winterham in Abingdon, that's near exit 17 near the country club. There's reports of power out there as well as phone service being out. So for those of you folks that are trying to get through to people over there, that's what the problem is. And then several people have also confirmed what we told a couple of minutes ago. Cocke and Bluff City, when the storms moved through, they confirmed what we were reporting as it moved through with respect to damage as well as winds and hail in the area.
All right, and what we have up here is now the official storm reports that have been relayed to the National Weather Service from storm spotters, law enforcement, and other reports. Obviously, this is probably a small amount of the reports that eventually are going to be reported. But so far, it looks like, David, can we call that a confirmed report of a tornado, or just a report?
Yeah, it was a report of a tornado.
Right.
Of course, they'll go look at the damage, but it came from a storm spotter, so
right.
So it likely was at least a phone cloud, if not a tornado. It's kind of hard to see at night, of course.
Yeah, and we've had quite a few reports from our viewers emailing us at weather@wcyb.com of funnel clouds. We've had numerous reports of folks seeing funnel clouds that came through their particular location. And again, it is harder to recognize the dangers of tornadoes at night because you can't see them. Sometimes you can see them during the daytime if they're not wrapped in rain, but at night it's